And after suffering a major heart attack over 5 months ago, one Chicopee police officer is finally being welcomed home. Back in March, Officer Mark Wilkes, known by his peers as Shrek, suffered a major heart attack following the Battle of the Badges charity hockey game. The community showed an immediate outpouring of support. Leadfoot Brewing in Chicopee hosted a fundraiser back in March, and another benefit luncheon was held in April at the Portuguese American Club. The Chicopee Police Association also collected donations through a special hockey puck sale, each one marked with a picture of Shrek in Wilkes' honor. Now, 175 days later, Officer Mark Wilkes has returned home, welcomed by his fellow brothers and sisters in blue. Police say he's continued to gain strength every day and appreciates the support that he's received by the community in which he serves. We wish Officer Wilkes and his family a happy return home.